My name is Iannielli, and I am a male to female transgender woman. And if you notice when I do my videos, I'm pretty repetitive in my introduction. And usually I say two things. I either say, I am Emily Iannielli, and I'm a male to female transgender woman, or I say, I am Emily Iannielli, and I go by T-Girl Angel. So, either one, that's kind of my moniker. And I don't know what happened. I was on YouTube and just doing some searches on, I try to make this page I created kind of like life is not always happy occasions. There's a lot of tragedy and sadness, and I don't always like to focus on that. I really don't. However, I do think it's important to focus on hard-hitting issues. And obviously, if you are a member of a certain group of people, whether it's transgender, or you're teenage girls who are starting to develop and mature, you could be considered targets. And it's very scary what's going on, and I didn't even realize it. But there's a whole now area of predators on the internet that harass these young girls. And this poor girl, her name was, bear with me. Yeah, I posted a couple of the videos on the page. Amanda Todd. This girl is just a teenager. And somehow, well, she was into doing social media, and she was involved with YouTube videos, and got into doing webcams, and somebody managed to get her to do some sexual acts as a webcam recording, and he started to exploit this poor kid, and over a period of time harassed her. And this poor girl, she was a victim of this predator who tormented her and made her life unbearable. And it's heartbreaking. I was watching her video that she did up to her taking her life, and I was heartbroken. She did a video where she had flashcards, and she was flashing them, explaining how she was violated, and how her life became a torment, and she had attempted suicide by trying to swallow bleach. She actually swallowed bleach and had to go to the hospital, and she was being treated for depression and suicide ideation, and she had the suicide attempt. And this kid was like 15. and a beautiful young lady, just starting to blossom. And I just am heartbroken. And then I just felt like, how could somebody be so evil to manipulate this poor girl and blackmail her and torment her? I mean, I have no words. And, being male to female transgender, I'm also aware of tragedies within our own community where trans women are mistreated and exploited and are in some cases tragically are raped, or worse, they are murdered. And sorry, I'm just very sad and heartbroken about this. I didn't even know about it. I just happened to come across this. And then I came upon another tragic story about a sweet young teenage girl, another teenage girl, who did a video, and I don't know the story, but I believe she was also a victim of bullying in some way. And she seemed so happy and free and vibrant. And her name was Maddie Yates, 16. Maddie Yates, 16-year-old girl, who also did a YouTube video, and she committed suicide in the aftermath of her video. And I just am beside myself, because I've also have fought those feelings of wanting to commit suicide myself. And when I see these poor young kids, it just breaks my heart, because they had so much promise and they were tormented for no reason. And I don't know, I was crying as I was reading their stories, both of them, and I just felt compelled to, to say something. I remember also about this girl who, I'm trying to remember her name. She was an Irish girl whose family moved from Ireland to Massachusetts. I believe her father got a job transfer, and she was, a teenager, and I think she was a little bit, she was exploring her sexuality, just like typical teenage girls do. And I think somehow other girls, or maybe boys and girls, I don't know, I'm trying to remember the story, but the crux of the story was she also was a subject of bullying, and I also think it was cyberbullying as well, and it was persistent, and she also committed suicide. And it just is very tragic that these young teenage kids, and in these three instances they were teenage girls, beautiful girls who, you know, had so much to offer. And here they were, cut down in the prime of their life. And I just can't process it. It's heartbreaking. And, you know, it just makes you... And another thing that got me very angry is the hate comments on the YouTube page where people leave comments. There's so much hatred directed at these poor young ladies with the comments. I just can't believe it, what I'm reading. And I got so angry that I directed my anger at those who left horrible comments. You know, I don't understand the mentality of people. And you know, this also is felt within our community as transgender women. We also we have to face the brunt of hostile reaction, and we are also not treated with dignity or respect. And I just think that we as a society have to, you know, changes have to come about. We can't live with such hatred and, you know, these tragedies can't persist. I mean, how could young girls just take their life? And, you know, this is also reminds me of the other girl, the teenage girl, the transgender girl, Leela Alcorn, another girl, a victim of suicide and ignorance. And I just don't understand, you know, why do we have to have such ignorance and intolerance? You know, when all is said and done, we're all people. We all deserve dignity and respect, and we should be treated as people. And whether we're transgender, cisgender, whatever, you know, we're people. And if we want to transition, and that's going to make us happy, and it's going to bring us inner peace, who gives a damn what others think? And who are they to judge us for doing what we feel we have to do? And we're not to blame if we are born in a way where we do not feel our mind matches our body. Then we have every right to do what we feel will help us to deal with that incongruity. And there is nobody that should tell me how I should live my life. If I feel I have to transition from male to female, I damn well am going to do it, because that is who I am. And there is no one that should tell me how I should live my life. And I just am so angry that these predators just prey on these young innocent girls and lead them to do this horrific act of taking their own life. It just pains me. And I was so upset and I was crying. I had tears in my eyes as I'm reading these stories and watching the video. And that video of that girl flashing those cards, telling that heartbreaking story, it just crushed me. And I just felt compelled to share my thoughts on that. And I pray for those two young girls. It just is such a sad tragedy on both, in both instances. And it really broke my heart. And I felt that I had to make their tragic deaths known on my Facebook page that I dedicate to the transgender women community. And I'm sure that they will understand why I posted that. I think it's very important, and I think the cyberbullying is very scary, and this exploitation, I didn't realize the extent of this. And I on Facebook too, I even have these, I don't even know who they are, but they are asking me to send them pictures of my own excuse me, of my own breasts development. And I get adamant, and I said, who are you to ask me for something personal like that? I am not going to oblige these morons. I keep my Facebook page clean, and I just don't want to deal with people like that. And I'm scared. I don't know what's going on with these people. I'm a transgender woman, and, God forbid I met someone who went off the deep end because of my transgender transitioning, and, that really scares me. I don't know what's going on in the mind of these individuals, and we have to protect ourselves, and we can't be naive. We have to be self-aware. There are a lot of transgender women that get killed, and they just fall into a bad situation, and you have to be very careful. You can't assume. And sure, you want to experience what women experience, and you probably want to have an intimate relationship if you're a trans woman with a man eventually, and you just can't take things for granted. You have to really be careful and be very aware, and you just don't know what's out there. And I don't even want to deal with that. Me personally, I just want to be happy. I don't want to complicate my life and try to worry about relationships. I am wanting to be with my wife and son and have my own little life here as a woman, and just go about my family life. And the only thing that has changed is that I am now presenting as a female, and to be honest with you, that's how I've always felt. And I can't help the fact that I hid this and I wasn't truthful. And sure, I feel guilty, and sure, I feel maybe that I betrayed my family, and I betrayed whoever came into my life. But the reality was that I didn't tell anybody, to be honest with you. I made one feeble attempt many years ago where I tried to come out to my sisters and a friend, and it really went nowhere. And after that, I just was like a hermit, and I just kept my transgender struggle to myself. I never told anybody. So it was a matter of wanting to meet someone, a girl, and if I told her, I would be probably losing that opportunity of having a relationship, because I wouldn't know how they would react if I came out and told them that deep down in my heart and my soul I'm a woman. You know, sure, that's what I am, but I didn't want to have to take that risk and jeopardize what I had hoped would be the opportunity to have a normal relationship with a woman and marry, and that's exactly what I wound up having. And I got married, and we have a son. And and sure, now when I think back in retrospect, I should have told her, but then things might have changed, and we may not have married, and now a son may not have been born. So you just never know, and I just feel that I did what I had to do, and I'm not gonna agonize about it. I'm not gonna torment myself about it. It is what it is, and my wife has come to accept my transgender status, and we're still together. We're working to keep the family strong, and I support my wife and my son, and we have my mother-in-law with us, and our life will still remain the same. And I'm just gonna I want to live as Emily. I want to be happy, and I want to live as a woman, because that's how I feel inside, and I can't change that. I can't. I was trying to see, I want to show some pictures. How can I do this? I've done this before, but I want to, so you can get some perspective. I'll be right back. Now, this is a picture. Well, I'm going to get them all, so I'm going to keep talking so you can hear me, and we'll see how this goes. But and then I'm going to get a picture of my son when he was a baby. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, now I have a picture. This is a picture of me when I was a little baby, and I enjoy looking at it. And that was a long time ago, probably when I was about a year and a half or two, 1962 or 3. Shoot, that was not a good thing. And then this picture, I'm sorry, this picture is a picture of me with my sister and my mom. And this picture was when I was about 3, and I knew at that time that I was a girl. So this picture means a lot to me, because I knew that I was a female, well, a girl. I should say. I was a girl, and I knew that in my heart that I was. Um, this is a picture of me on our wedding day with my wife, and it was one of the happiest days of my life, and I'm very proud of that. I have a beautiful wife, and then this is a picture of my son, our son Maddie. The insert picture is when he was first born at the hospital, and the picture of him as a little boy with his little teddy bear. And this is what life is all about. You know, the joy of life. And you know, we all go through our own struggles in life, and you know, I didn't ask to be born the way I am. It just happened to be that way. And I just try to accept that still, no matter what, I'm a good person, and nobody should judge me in a bad way. And the stress is beautiful, but it stains pretty easily, and I can't figure out why. It's very frustrating to me, but I still love it. It's beautiful, and it's purple, and it's flowy. I love it, and it goes nice with my stockings and my shoes. You know, I just love being a girl. I've always felt extremely feminine. I wasn't a male, and I didn't want to have anything to do with that, except, you know, being a father and all. But, oh no, I'm a woman for sure. And I've come to know that I have my little sunglasses here that I like to wear. This is good because they're purple and they kind of match my dress. So, you know, sometimes I like to just, you know, make light of situations. You know, being transgender is a serious matter, and sometimes you have to have a little sense of humor. Otherwise, you know, what's the whole point of life if you can't laugh sometimes? You have to have a little bit of laughter in your life. There's just too much sad things that happen, and you know, it just, I was broken up when I happened upon these stories of these young teenage girls and tragic suicides that they succumb to, and you just never know. And how does one deal with suicide? You know, what goes through someone's mind? I know I've been in the hospital on many occasions also.